So welcome. We're really happy to have you here at our second meeting of Collage Self-Portrait, a workshop led by Sanchez Art Center studio artist Lola Fraknoi. Hi, Lola.
Hi.
We're delighted to have you here again. We had our first session on Tuesday, May 18th. And that session is recorded so that you can watch the techniques that Lola shared and a really great PowerPoint presentation that she did of collage portraits. And we're recording this again today too, and we'll provide the links to both of these to Dana at the community center so that she can share it out for you when it's available. And after the end of this one, we're going to be asking people that are participating to, just like we did for our last sessions, send us in either virtually or drop off to Dana at the community center during the grab and go lunch period, what you've done. And we look forward to another virtual art show here. And we currently have that scheduled for Tuesday, June 29th. So that's the end of my announcements, and I'm going to turn this over to Lola, and I'm going to go ahead and Lola, do you want me to spotlight your hands first or you first?
Just me first.
Okay, all right, there you go.
Hi, everyone. Did people have a chance to look at the video recording of my first class?
Took the class.
Everyone is muted. Can you unmute yourself?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So
Go get the other door.
Okay. What did you do?
It said unmute and I didn't mute.
You did it. You're all good.
Okay.
okay, so
Go.
did you have a chance to look at the recording for the ones that were not here for my first class?
No, we didn't know. We didn't know it was on, that the class was being conducted. We're very sorry about that. We didn't get any information, so.
We went to the second class, though, I believe.
No, this is the second class, John. This is the second class.
Who's on first?
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Okay, so
we didn't. We can look at it later, can't we? We can look at it because you.
Yes, you can look at it at your convenience.
Okay.
And I mean, that's where kind of I introduced all the techniques and all the materials and a PowerPoint presentation. So I think it would be helpful before you do your collage to view that recording.
Oh, okay, because we did, both of us did a collage.
Yeah, but this is a self-portrait collage.
That's what we did. We got the little poster advertising your class. So we used that as a guide, and we did a total collage, no paint, no crayon, anything, just pasted paper.
So you are to either email or give it to the center so I can have a show and include your work.
Okay. Would you like to see mine? I'm real proud.
Not right now. I'd like you to give it to the senior center so I can show it for everyone.
At the senior center?
Yes.
Like we did the first time?
Exactly.
Okay. We can
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to continue with self-portrait collage, but we're going to do it a little bit different now. The first time around, we used our faces to be the main part of the collage. And right now, I'm gonna leave the face alone and we're gonna use the space around the body to make the collage about us. So it's self-portrait and it basically tells the story about who you are and what you love and what your passions are. And that continues to be the subject for the second class.
So
So
you want-
Cindy, why don't you spot my hands now?
well, the other one. Let's see. Oh, she's gonna.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
So you're gonna start by taking your paper this time around, and you have a set of watercolors that came with your kit. Do you have that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
People-
so I have some water here, and I have a foam brush that I got at the hardware store for 50 cents. And I like the foam because it doesn't leave cracks of the hairs of the brush. It's just very smooth. So what color should I make the background?
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay, we have a choice. So basically I just put the brush inside the color.
Yeah, you have one of those.
First I put it in the water and then I put it in the yellow.
Oh, she's mixing it.
And I'm gonna go from one side to the other.
Oh, this is a wash.
It's a wash, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wash.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys have the lingo for it.
You could barely see the color right now.
I know, I'm adding more to it.
No, it's okay. It's pale yellow and pale blue. Okay, use sponge.
So what I want you to do is I want you to paint the paper first, rather than just gluing the images. I want you to put some color in the background. I'm gonna go back to the blue because I want you to be able to see the color.
She doesn't.
So now you see it. And the beauty about watercolors is that watercolors are transparent. So don't use the paint solid as you would with acrylics or other kinds of paint. Just leave it transparent. So you can paint the whole page one color or use a couple of colors if you want. Remember, you're gonna be using magazine and photos on top, so you don't want the background to be too busy. And if it's too light, you let the first coat dry. You just put it on the outside on the sun for a couple of minutes. And then give it a second coat. It dries because it's so transparent, it dries very quickly. So your background is going to look a little bit like this. Let's finish the top of it. And you see the foam brush doesn't leave any hairbrush markings.
I got the watercolors.
So that's how you're gonna work. That's how you're going to paint the background of your self-portrait collage. because
Here we are.
we're a live class and we don't have time for it to dry, I decided for the demo of the collage itself to just use images.
Hmm.
So the first thing is me.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
wow.
So basically you take a photo with your phone and like someone can take a photo of you or you can take a selfie and then print it on your printer, and you can print it in color or black and white. It doesn't matter. So because
You don't want to see them until I show.
Really? Oh, okay.
because I'm not gonna, I don't want it to be white, the background. And I want all of the things that I'm gonna add to my portrait to be things about me. So I love music. So here's some music. It doesn't matter what it is. And again, if you go to Google Images and type whatever you want, you will get images for your collage. And then on the bottom, I picked one of my favorite painters is Mark Rothko. So I'm using these two images to be the background. So you can choose to have images to be in your background or to have watercolor or both. So I would encourage the use of watercolors for this second assignment. So now I put myself in. I'm gonna put myself in on the bottom rather than.
Here it is.
And what I usually do is before I glue things, I don't know if you do this too, I kind of play around with the images before I settle on. I mean, I don't do glue one thing at a time, but kind of play around with everything first. So here I put one of my own art pieces and I put it on a black and white frame.
There you go.
So I'm gonna put that on top of my head.
There you go.
I'm gonna add, this is my favorite movie. It's a very old movie. It's a French movie called Children of Paradise. I don't know if you've had the chance to see this movie. It's a wonderful movie.
Children of Paradise.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So I'm gonna put this here for now. And my favorite flower is the tulip, especially white tulips. So I'm gonna add some tulips. And this is another one of my favorite painters. Is an artist called Paul Klee that I'm sure you've heard of.
Well, Paul Klee.
You pronounce it Klee.
Klee?
Yeah.
It's Klee.
Correct.
He's Dutch.
Oh, look, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So I've always liked this little painting. It's kind of spiritual.
Yeah.
And let's see what else I have. I'm from Peru, so when I was a young woman, I took part of many archaeological digs, and there was this dig that I found some dolls, some pre-Columbian dolls. These are very old, maybe 12th century. So I found one online and they're just made out of cloth and straw.
It's still done. That's okay.
So what do you think? How is it looking?
Very nice. Yeah.
And finally, I have my favorite novel, my favorite book that has influenced my whole life, really. It's Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 100 Years of Solitude.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna add that too. So you see, I just incorporated all things that make me be me rather than my next door neighbor. These are all things that I'm about the art and movies, books, music. And what I recommend is that you spend a couple of hours just looking for images about you and then cut them up to scale. So don't cut them up the same size. Some of them can be small. I mean, it's good to have diversity in color and scale. So some of them are small, like the little doll, and the movie poster is bigger. So there's variety for the eye. And if you can imagine now, for this to be, rather than having images in the background, this could just be with a watercolor, which looks really nice, I think. So that's basically the project. Are there any questions?
Okay.
Beautiful, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Is Pam, are you there?
Who?
Yes, I am.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good. I've got all my supplies, so I'm ready to work in the next few days.
Okay, so you were here for the first class, right, Pam?
Yeah. Yes.
So for at the end of the June, you need to come up with 2 collages. One where you use
You're doing in France.
the face itself. Remember, we use the face itself to, you know, and we use the tracing paper, so we could do like a puzzle with images around the face. And for this second project, we're going to use images to go around the face on a watercolor background.
And we have Joyce here too, who I think was also on the last call.
Right. I already did the watercolor background.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Any questions about this?
No,
I'm
thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
So think creatively about what makes you you, things that inspire you. It can be about nature, it can be about intellectual things, it can be about the only thing, I know I'm gonna sound cruel, but when I say this, but it shouldn't be confused with doing scrapbooking about you and your entire family. It just be selfish and do this about you for this project. That's what makes Gladys and John who they are, Joyce and Pam. And because otherwise it will start looking not like a fine art project, but like scrapbooking, which is a different thing altogether. So just just think about what makes you tick. And I can't wait to see the results of your work.
Lola,
Yes?
do you have a date when you need our stuff in for you to put the art show together? I know it's on the 29th or whatever. Do you need it in like a week before that, a couple of days before, whenever?
Yes, we'd like them by Friday, June 18th.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
And encourage other people around your house and friends to do this project with you or on their own, so we have more images to look at. You can be the teachers. So
Pam and
what
I
we're
are
doing,
alone in our houses.
what we're doing now, I taught this class to many different groups. So I'm gonna show you examples of what my students have done. It wasn't necessarily the way I described it to you. The way I made these projects for you has been customized to who you are. But you get an idea what other artist students have done with the self-portrait assignment.
And I have it set for you to screen share. Awesome. There we go.
Self-portraits too. The
So
sequel.
these are some images of my students' work on self-portrait. So
Look at that.
she literally put herself in nature and added things to her face. So the beauty about this collage is that everyone interprets it different. So I love that. This is
Oh, that's a good
a
one.
different one, very colorful.
Yeah.
Religion and
Look
then
at that.
oh, yeah.
The Sacred Heart.
Oh, look at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Wow.
there's that painting.
Yeah.
The glasses are fun too.
Yeah. Wow,
Here we go.
that's scary.
This is a collage that she didn't use. I think she used the hair as part of the photograph, but everything else she kind of made up herself.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And you see the watercolor background. I think that's a pizza slice as a nose.
That's cool.
This is Margo, and Margo did use a photo of family and her dog, but I think it's okay. It doesn't overwhelm the whole picture.
Wow. That's a big dog.
Yes, and on the scale perspective. But she's using stamps from different parts of the world and a cartoon, music,
Look who's
palm trees. And her message is get out and play.
that's a cool one.
This is a very abstracted collage, but the shells, I don't know about you guys, but the shells to me look like eyes.
Oh yeah.
And the traffic light is her nose.
Yes, yes.
Traffic light nose.
Awesome.
Right
So I
there.
wanted to show you different ways of going about this. Charlene,
That's a good one.
she's into nature. She's a nature girl. And again, she used a watercolor background.
What are those eggs?
And she just basically glues one piece on top of the other, you know. She didn't use the tracing paper technique that I show on the first class. She just glues them wherever she wants. Anna did a whole flower bouquet as a self-portrait with goldfish. She is an artist that has a sense of humor, so there's always something funny about her work. She's surrounded by goldfish, practically.
Goldfish. Wow.
Renee. And you can see her love of water, of animals, of popcorn. This is a woman that is Latina. So she's using Spanish words and English words to describe herself. She's a political Californian, Nicaraguan American. She's passionate. She's a woman, a wife, a daughter. She's bailando, amando. That's another one of her and her husband when they were young. I think they got married in Hawaii.
Ah,
The colors.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, look at this
that's
one.
good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is kind of fantastical colors, isn't it?
Blue. Like that. That really is good. So it's all
That's
blue.
nice.
Yeah.
But she uses here the tracing technique so the pieces look like they're a part of a puzzle rather than just glued one on top of the other. Because it fits perfectly around the face, her coat, you know, all the background fits perfectly around her face. There's lots of nature in this group.
Yeah.
This is about, I don't remember who this is, but I think there was a sad story surrounding this collage.
I'm surfing.
Surfing.
Neutral.
These are Chinese
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Look at this one.
These are all very different.
Yeah.
They're all
Oh, I like this one.
beautiful.
So she's using maps,
This class is
places she's been.
yeah.
This is also a very abstract collage that deals more about composition, how you place things, rather than
Look at
what
that.
she's all about.
Is that two faces? A hair face?
There's her
Um,
in black and white and her in color, so there's a message there. Which one is the real Joan?
the one behind. Yes, the one behind.
And she's cutting up pictures and enlarging them and cutting them up.
Wow. Yeah, these are much
So she's looking through useful. What's the top one?
That's cool.
Eyes.
Here's
Eyes. Yes, thank you. This is Dorothy.
one.
Mhm.
He's
Uh-oh.
into creating.
Mm.
I'm being worried about the environment.
Oh, pandemic, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a vaccine there.
Mhm. Flailing.
Flailing economy.
Shouldn't it be flailing?
The flailing.
Economy?
Flailing.
Should be
Flailing.
fading. No, I'm not.
Flailing like you do the wheat.
Yeah.
Flailing.
Yeah.
Flailing, threshing.
It should be failing.
This is Karen, and look at how she dealt with her watercolor background. She got a little bit more playful with the color.
Oh,
So there's no need for you to think of the watercolor as being solid. You can also be playful with the colors.
These are much better.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this woman loves animals. There's always a raven, and she's a professional photographer and loves animals. There's animals in every one of her collages.
It's nice. Mm.
So I'm going to show you another one of another class to give you even more ideas.
Wow.
That's good.
Cool.
So these are even more ideas on what my students have done with self-portraits.
That's good.
Wow.
That's nice.
B18.
That's something.
Out of crepe paper.
Yeah. Yeah, crepe paper is great for collages because it has texture to it.
Hmm.
This is an interesting one. This woman is both a scientist and a glass blower. So you see, this is one collage. So she split the collage in two and shows both parts of herself.
Wow. Hmm.
Looking at maybe similar universal things, but in completely different ways. One as a scientist and one as an artist. And here again, you see a watercolor background and just her face surrounded by flowers.
Hmm.
It's a simple idea, but it turned out very well, I think.
Wow. I wouldn't say she's two-faced.
Right.
Oh, God, John. I wouldn't say you were corny.
Those are nice. Yeah.
The flowers are beautiful.
Those were
Okay,
really
so what
good.
did you think? Do you have enough inspiration?
Yes, thank you.
You're ready to go?
I'm already started.
That one.
It's already starting. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
We came close to doing that, didn't we?
And you know, there's nothing stopping you from making more than two. So if you're inspired and you have enough images to do more, go for it. Just make sure we get them by June 19th, Cindy.
And we do it on canvas.
Canvas.
Canvas, no, I prefer paper, thank you.
Okay, I've already got one on canvas.
Well, then send a picture of it.
Yeah, okay.
Can I show you what my son has done? Oh,
Thank you.
put the thing on.
Oh,
If you're going to drop something off, then we'll take whatever and we'll scan it at the art center. Otherwise, a photograph can be sent as we've done before, and we'll get those to Lola. So we'll send that information out through Dana about how to, or we actually had it in the flyer here that if you're emailing it, it goes to info, I-N-F-O, at sanchezartcenter.org.
you got that.
She's what?
Sanchez Arts Center.
Yeah.
Send a follow-up through Dana before the end of this week.
For the end of this week?
Yeah.
You have to
Are
send-
there any questions for me before I let you go?
Well, you know, I gotta tell you a little story. My son has never tried art classes, and he's been